to Houston Life. Today we are lucky enough to be on location in beautiful Kemah, where we are at Ishtia restaurant with someone who's been called a culinary genius, Willy Wonka of food, Chef David Skinner. Thanks so much for letting us come.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, so this is a really beautiful, beautiful place, but I want to get back to before you got all the accolades and all of the awards. Tell me a little bit about yourself and just where you come from.
Sure. Grew up in Oklahoma, in a small town in northern Oklahoma called Ponca City. My grandmother was a big influence. She loved to cook, and I was always in the kitchen because there was always something interesting going on.
Did you know as an adolescent that this was something you wanted to do, or did it kind of just organically happen?
I think I said I wanted to be a chef when I was like 4. I had my first restaurant when I was 16, which was French. My grandmother gave me Julia Child's cookbooks and Sabatier chef knife, and she's like, here you go. Every Sunday, I want a different Sunday dinner. And so I went through and did all the recipes in the cookbook. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great kind of learning environment. And then my mother said, you can be a chef anytime you want, but you're going to go to college and get a degree. So I ended up going to Oklahoma State, started my second restaurant when I was there, and then did 30 years oil and gas, sold my last company, and my wife's like, what are you going to do now? And I said, I've got an idea for a crazy restaurant. That led me to put Eculent in, which was in this building. We did that for 10 years. One of the promises I made to her was, I'm going to give it 5 years. If it doesn't make, I'll shut it down. But 10 years comes, that's it, I'm done, I'll do something else. And so 10 years was up in March, and I still have the bug to keep cooking, but I want to do something different. And we had already opened the Preserve in May of last year with Graham and Chef G from Street to Kitchen. And that one is Indigenous cooking and Thai.
Do you get bored easily? I find you to be like.
I do get bored easily. Yes, that's exactly right.
And all these different ideas, they just are in your mind, and you pull one
have
out
to get it out.
And one that maybe reoccurs. Is that your process? Is that your process of?
Maybe a little bit. Always been a creative person. When we set up Eculent, we built an entire food lab. We used to serve food that would hover above the table, literally just float there, which is why they call me the Willy Wonka of food. Out of 30 courses, maybe like 4 or 5 would be Native American. I just wouldn't tell anybody.
Okay.
And those would be some of the most favorite courses of the guests. And I was like, wait a minute, there's a theme here. People like those the most. Preserve took off really well, and maybe we should blend Eculent with what we were kind of doing with Preserve and do this kind of modern take on Indigenous food, which no one's really ever done before.
And that traces all the way back to, if you look in Ishtia, you can find pictures of mom, grandma, great-grandma. So let's talk about those roots.
Growing up, I didn't know it was Indigenous cooking.
It's just your food.
It's just cooking, right?
Yeah.
It's just what grandma made, right?
Yeah.
And so I grew up, loving beans, corn, squash. It was just what we ate. We always had a garden. We typically ate what was growing in the garden.
What is the feedback on the food here? It's reservation only. You can't just walk in.
Right.
This is more of an experience.
Very much an experience. But a lot of people, I think, are maybe a bit hesitant when we say Indigenous. It's like, well, what does that mean, right? And what I tell everybody is, if you like Italian food, Mexican food, Spanish food, any food, you're gonna like Indigenous food, because all the ingredients of the things that you really like came from here. 60% of the world's cuisine, the ingredients came from the Americas.
Wow.
But went and filtered through, the world because of colonization, because of the Portuguese and the spice trade and all that. And so with Ishtia, I'm able to actually educate people on, this is where the beans come from. This is where the corn comes from. This is the difference between corns. We have probably the most famous Choctaw course is Tonchi Labona. Which you would recognize like pasole.
Oh, wow.
So it's a corn and pork soup.
Yum.
This is our welcome pot. 100 years ago, if you had just kind of wandered into a Native American village, you would have found in the center of the village a fire with a pot of something. Typically be a stew, be whatever they caught that day. And as a guest, you would be offered food from that pot. And that would be basically their way of welcoming you. Instead of a stew, what it is, it's tepary beans we get from the Kemah Reservation in Arizona. They're also one of the few that's indigenous to North America. This dish is called deer in the woods.
Okay.
Okay. And when I would go hunting with my family, we would always use every part of the animal. Nothing went to waste. This is actually a venison cheek. We braise it for 8 hours, so it literally just melts in your mouth. And we wrap it in potato ribbons and then fry it.
It's beautiful and it's fun. It's whimsical.
Yes.
That is so good. And the crunch the potato gives it, I would never in a million years think to eat the cheek. Why do you think this place has been so successful? I mean, obviously you're not just gonna get a meal, you're gonna get a lesson in history, you're gonna get education. Why do you think people are responding so well to that? I
think because of that. It's like, we're not the place to come if it's like, I got 30 minutes for a meal, right? You're gonna come here and you're gonna spend 3 hours. And I think when people come here, they get to enjoy a meal, they get to have conversation. I talk to them about the history of the dishes. And so we get to have this really kind of personal conversation that you don't get really anywhere else.
So be open-minded.
Be open-minded.
Be adventurous.
Right.
And be ready to just have your socks.
Right. Yeah.
My gosh. Okay, Derek, you would love every bite of that food. Even that, just the pot, the welcome pot of beans, it just looks like black beans. Like the flavors just blew me away. Every bite was just speaking to me in a million different ways.
And the salad all wrapped up?
Yes, like a sage. So they sage, and then it's a perfect bite of lettuce they're just taking their time over there, which is something that we don't do enough, right?
That's true.
Okay. Well, if you want to experience Ishtia for yourself, you do have to make reservations in advance. We've shared the link on our website, houstonlife.tv. Make the reservations.
We love Kemah. We'll head on down.
It's beautiful.
Good stuff.